So good day everyone, I am Alejandro Pendon Samson Jr. from BSL English 2A, and for today's video I will be discussing the first part of the topic entitled The Sumerian and the Early Babylonian Myths, the Origins and the Gods of Babylonian. So let's start. In general Mesopotamia, in the region between the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers north and northwest of the bottleneck of the Baghdad. In modern Iraq, Babylonia in the Asian cultural region occupying southeastern Mesopotamia. Babylon was the capital of this region and was located on the Euphrates River about 55 miles south of Baghdad near the modern town of the Al-Hijaz, Iraq. Due to the great influence of Babylon on this region, Babylonia has come to refer to the entire culture that devoted in the area from the time it was first settled about 4000 BC. We have the major Babylonian gods. First god was Anu, the head of the gods, reigned in the uppermost part of the heaven and had an army of the stars to destroy evildoers. Enlil, god of the Ukraine and deluge, was also the source of royal power and dealt out good and evil to men. Ea, a god of waters, was a benefactor to the nature and men by virtue of his all-encompassing wisdom. Marduk was a fertility god and the principal deity of Babylon. He established lordship over all the other gods by killing the male Volant and the Chaotic Tiamat and by creating the world out of the Tiamat's body. Sin, the moon god, was an enemy to the wicked, shining his nightly light upon their deeds. His children were Shamash, the sun, and Ishtar, the planet Venus. Shamash was the sun god, a dispenser of light and justice to the world, but also the god of the prophecy. Ishtar, one of the most popular Babylonian deities, was the goddess of the sexuality, opponent force among beasts and men. She satisfied temple prostitution. Lustful herself, Ishtar had numerous lovers, most of whom had a dreadful fates. Lastly, Tammuz, the harvest god, and also one of Ishtar's lovers. Everything originated with water, from the mixture of sweet water, Apsu with salt water, Tiamat the god's arrows. Apsu and Tiamat gave birth to Mumu, the tumult of the waves, and to Lakmu and Lakamu, a pair of gigantic serpents. In turn, these serpents produced Ashnar, the heavens, and Kishar, the earthly world. And from these two came the great gods Anu, Enlil, and Ea, as well as their other gods of the sky, earth, and the underworld. Many of these new gods were noisy, which upsets Apsu and Tiamat. Since they could not rest, these primordial goddesses then discussed whether they should annihilate their progeny. When Ea, the all-knowing, learned of Apsu's plan to destroy the gods, he used his magic to capture her and Mumu. Tiamat was furious and created a monstrous army of gods and freak creatures to punish Ea and his cohorts. Ea went to his father Ashnar, and Ashnar advised him to send Anu to fight Tiamat. But both of Anu and Ea were afraid of the goddesses and her army. Then Ea called Marduk forth. Marduk promised to conquer Tiamat, and he were given supreme authority over the gods. The gods agreed that he was to have lordship and feast in his honor. Marduk was invested with the scepter, the throne, and an invincible weapon. Armed with bow and arrows, lightning, the wind, and hurricane, a special net, Marduk rode forth to meet Tiamat in his chariot, which was a tempest drawn by the four fearsome steeds. They clashed, and Marduk caught Tiamat in his net. When he opened her mouth to swallow him, Marduk let loose the hurricane, which filled her jaws and belly, thereby stunning her. Then Marduk shot an arrow into her belly and killed her. Tiamat's army fell in combat downfall, but Marduk caught them in his net, chained them, and cast them into the underworld. As he was cutting up Tiamat's body, Marduk conceived a plan. From one half of her body he made the dome of the heavens, and with the other half he made the earth. He established the dwelling of the gods, fixed the positions of the stars, ordered the movements of the heavenly bodies, and set the length of the year. Then to gladden the hearts of the gods, Marduk created men from the blood of King Fu, the general of Tiamat's army. Finally, he made rivers, vegetation, and animals, which completed the creation and cognition of his triumphs. The gods bestowed all of their titles and powers on Marduk, making him the god of gods. That's the end of my report. Thank you for watching.